Hey there, Kimberly here with Knit for Brains. And this week's podcast, we're going to be talking about the WIPs and some upcoming projects that I've got I might need your input in. So here we go. Stay tuned. It is a cold morning. I don't know if y'all have been watching the news, but here in California, Southern California, we've been having these atmospheric river storms. It's been a little scary. We're good. We're on top of a bluff, but some people, I don't know if you can really see it from here. It's looking just a little, you know what? Just take my word for it. We got some funky weather, and I'm never going to say we have bad weather because I know a lot of you are sitting in some horrible weather. But for us, the little snowflakes out here, we got some weather happening. But I got my cup of tea, my Dave's tea, or David's tea. If you haven't tried this stuff, oh my gosh, they have the best tea. This is called Buddha's tea. It's like a white floral, but I also have jelly donut. I have chocolate macaroon. I have tart cherry. They have one at Christmas that has little pieces of candy canes in it. Oh my goodness. My mom was like, that's the best tea in the world. I'm like, I know. It's so good. I have like so many kinds. It's delicious. It's available on Amazon, also their website as well. If you're interested in taking a look at what they've got, they don't have as much on Amazon as they do have on their website, but it comes a lot faster if you go through Amazon than it does on their website, because this took, I don't know, a couple of weeks, and I was out of tea for 2 weeks. The Brit, you know, he drinks his regular tea and milk, the British tea, which is fine. You know, but sometimes I don't really want British tea. I want fancy chocolate coconut macaroon tea, or I want Christmas with little pieces of candy cane in it, or I want Cupid tea or whatever. Anyway, so this stuff is amazing. I'll include the link. You guys can drink it with me, shall you? Okay, put that aside. So I have been so busy, so productive this month. I was actually going to show you what I did this month, what I completed this month. Maybe I should do that. When I say I completed it this month, what I really meant is I completed it last month, and I'm showing it to you this month. But these are all things I actually finished in January. So first thing I finished, which took me a little while, was what you guys were like, oh my gosh, it was beautiful. Still probably one of my faves, was the Starry Night shawl. And I just did the fringe and all this kind of stuff. Just, I'm still loving her so much. It's just so much fun and beautiful. Purple Lamb Fibers. Thank you so much for this absolutely just gorgeous yarn. It feels amazing. It's just a showstopper. And I'm not saying it because of the pattern, because of what I did. I think I really did a good job of highlighting the beauty of this yarn. The showstopper is really the yarn. All I did was come up with a pattern that really highlights the beautiful of the pattern. The sparklies, the baubles, the blues, and then bringing in the fringe. So, Carla with Purple Lamb Fibers. Amazing, amazing work. I'm so tempted to subscribe to her Artist of the Month, where she actually, each month you get a skein of yarn that was inspired by a masterpiece. This is gorgeous. I have some more of her stuff coming. Maybe. I don't know. I have some more of her stuff over here that I haven't started on yet. I have to roll it, figure out what I'm going to do with it. This stuff. I've got two of this is that Monarch butterfly, the Colorado hair streak butterfly. This is also a self-pooling like Starry Night was, which just means when you run into this certain color, you got to do something with it. I might just end up doing like like a Starry Night shawl, but maybe like the kerchief thing. And because I think the orange is what's going to be popping through. You know, doing this just kind of helps me to work through my ideas, showing you this stuff. So, but two of these would make a beautiful, I think, kerchief for it. That's 800 yards and just something that's like drapey around. It's just so yummy. Absolutely gorgeous. So I got those two. I have two more of the speckled. Now this is called Monet's Water Lily. This is not a, This is not a self-pooling, self-striping. This is a signed pooling. This is a signed pooling. This is not. This is Monet's Water Lilies. Similar, very similar to Starry Night, but it doesn't have the yellow pops coming through it. It's got a little bit more of the green coming through it. And that's the Monet's Water Lilies. Isn't that gorgeous? There's the name, Purple Lamp Fibers. That's Carla. I'll also include the link below. And I have some fringe left over from Starry Night that I could use on this if I wanted to. So I got those two. And then I have this one that is Peacock, which is the same yarn as this guy with the stained glass in it. That's the black and white part, but it's called Peacock. And I only got one because they only had one, but I might check and see if she's got more. She just had a sale when she has, I think she likes to dye in like lots of 4 skeins, I think is what it said. And so when she has less than that, she sells those off, and I got them for like 15% off. So it was kind of like a one here, one here, one here, one here, but I just don't care. I just love the stuff so much. This is my little bit of a treat, but when it's 15% off, you know, that's a good deal. And then I think once she sent me this sweet little Sapphire Dreams Mini on Silken Sock. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. You can just see, oh, you can see the definition in the fiber, in the stitch. So beautiful. Carla, I love you. I absolutely love you. I'd like to think that I've done more on her channel than other people have. If anyone has ever talked about her on their channel, I don't know. Small business out of Texas, but I love her stuff. Love, love, love her stuff. All right. So I finished Starry Night. Then I moved into my cowl. This was my Pearl Soho that I taught myself how to knit. This was in the seed stitch. Loved it. Super simple. Love it. This was in a really nice soft merino wool from Pearl Soho, but very, very soft. This is coming with me to Ireland and Scotland and England. We're going there in June. You guys will be coming with me as well, but you'll see all of my wonderful little treasures. So this one, and it was a scarf, but I really wanted to make it into a cowl. I wish I had made it a little bit thicker. I didn't. Oh, that's the seam. Well, sorry. Actually, that was the inside. The outside doesn't look so bad. It's okay. I like it. I like it. This was my first delve into knitting, and I'd never done the seed stitch before, which I thought was really pretty. I like that one quite a bit. So I got that one done. Then I moved into, and I'm working on other stuff too. They're just not finished yet. I'm only bringing you what was finished. Y'all loved this one. Went bananas and bonkers over this one. This was using the Caron's coconut cakes. I might have ordered a few more skeins that might be coming in different colors. In different colors. This was the Hawaiian Punch and Lemon Lime, and I just did it with the bobble stitch, and then I came around and brought in the tassels here. Love this one. Got a lot of compliments on this one. A lot of you guys are doing it too. So I love that. I love that you were like, and this was a pattern I made it myself. If there are mistakes, please forgive me. I'm very sorry. I wrote it up very, very fast. But it is literally a V-stitch, 3 rows of a V-stitch, 1 row of a bobble. And then what you do at the center, this is the part I might have messed up with, but you can figure it out. Alternating rows. So in the center, 1 row, you do, which is right. Yeah, I'm sorry, you do a chain 1. So you do the 2 bobbles. Here you go. So you do a bobble, chain 1, and then a bobble. And in that chain 1 space, in the next row, you do 3 double crochets. And then in the next row after that, you've got a place for a V-stitch and a place for a V-stitch. So those 3 double crochets, so you do V-stitch, chain 1, V-stitch, right? And so then the next row, you do the 3 double crochets, and then you do the V-stitch, and then the chain 1. And then that's how you get that nice point, and that's how you get your add-ons at the end, and then you add on, you increase on the ends as well. So that's how it does like that. So the rows alternate. And I have to explain this because my mom came over the other day. She's like, I don't understand. My mother is a diehard pattern reader. She just likes to see it in front of her and read it. And I'm kind of like a fly by the seat of my pants. So we weren't like, I wasn't sure of the pattern, so I had to sit there and explain it to her. But that's what you do. So you do the 3 rows of V-stitch, and a V-stitch is 2 double crochets into 1 row. And that's it, right? And then you do, and then in the middle, and I use a stitch marker to mark the middle, I did 3 double crochets. And then in the next row, I would do a V-stitch here, a chain 1 here, a V-stitch here, 3 double crochets, V-stitch, chain, V-stitch, and then that's how it goes up. And I think she got it. If you're having trouble with it, just message me on Facebook on the Knit for Brains, Kimberly with Knit for Brains page. I included the pattern there up in the files. But you know, hopefully you're not having any problems. Once you start seeing the pattern, it pretty much just kind of evolves and you can kind of see where you need to go with it. But if you do have any issues, let me know. But more importantly, I want to see them when they're done. Post pictures in our Facebook group, Kimberly with Knit for Brains, please. Oh, this is so good. So I finished that. Then you guys saw what I did, and I loved this. This was like a 2-hour project, maybe. I took the 2 skeins that I had of the Loops and Threads Carousel Twist, one of the new yarns that they came out with, and I made this double, it was a reversible, right? But it was a 2-layer hat. And then what I did was I sewed a button on the inside of both sides. So here on this side, and then I sewed a button on the inside of this one, and then I just attached this pom-pom, which I thought was so cute because it ties in the colors, and it's on a little elastic band. See, it's right up in there. And so when I want to switch it and go pink to white, I just take off the pom-pom, turn it inside out, and then do this. I just loved this. I just thought it was so much fun, and it's nice and thick, and it's squishy. It doesn't feel like oily, or sometimes that like acrylic yarn feels kind of squeaky. It's not squeaky. And then I made the cowl, and I, again, did it in double, so I can wear it, turn it inside out, mix and match. Loved these guys. So that was pretty much all I finished in January. I have 2 sweaters I'm still working on. I have a lark's foot, or the middle finger blanket, that I should have done by the end of the month, pretty much. And then, ooh, the first thing I finished in February, I was very excited about this. So you guys know, I had those granny squares, right? That I made out of this really beautiful Azteca yarn. And this is a wool and wool and I think silk and alpaca, if I remember correctly. I don't have the tag in front of me. Anyway, so I made 4 of these, right? One for the front, one for the back, one for each side. And the problem was, because this was like $12.99 a skein, and then it was on sale for $11.49, which is still a lot of money. And I didn't want to spend that kind of, this is like a $300-400 sweater at that point, because I needed 9 skeins of the color that was going to make the rest of the sweater. So, you know, I ordered some Debbie Bliss, and that was too thin. I ordered something else, and that was not the right one. So last week it came, and I got it from Katia. So I splurged. I finally just broke down. I was like, all right, Katia, take my money. Take all my money. But not too much. And so I found this Pluton, which had the same mixture. It is pretty close to the same mixture. It is 53% acrylic, 30% cotton, 10% wool, and 7% alpaca. But it's mostly acrylic and cotton. And they had all the different colors, and I was like, ugh. This color was number 66, I believe is, yes, number 66. But it said the colors in here, they basically just describe the color. So it's like either yellow, blue, pink, blue, red, white, blue, whatever. This one was pistachio, wine, and something else, I think. Anyways, so I was like, oh man, I really hope this is going to work. But I thought the weight would work. You know, you're kind of flying blind when you're ordering stuff online. Anyways, it came, and I put these 2 together, and I was like, yes, yes, queen, I like this. So I loved how the different colors in here, the oranges and the blues, and even this main color green really kind of picked up in here. And I was like, y'all, I'm feeling good about this. The weight looked the same to me. It was not a total solid, but I didn't want to variegate it. But I was like, I like how the little speckles are coming through. I was finger crossing, man, big time. So I just went ahead and I just was like, I'm going for it. I'm going for it, people. You want to see what it looks like? Here you go. Ta-da! Oh, I'm loving this so much right now. So here's the squares, right? And I had the ones on the arms are a little bit smaller than the ones on the front. And then you just joined them. So up here, let's see, show it to you this way. Up here on the corners, you do big triangles. So one on each side to make it a square. So then you end up basically sewing it down the sides. And then over on this side here, and everything is on the bias, right? It's on the diagonal, which I thought was really cool. Over here, you just attach the sleeves up here. And then, so that sleeve comes all the way down. What I did here, just to kind of finish it off, I did 2 rows of double crochets up here. I did the same thing down here, and then I just made a little tassel like this. And I just threaded it through the arm just to give it a little bit of elastic. I could have done, you know, and then basically I draw it in like this, but it makes the sleeve kind of bluesy if you want. It's a big sweater. It's supposed to be a really big sweater, but I am loving, I love the colors. I love how the green picked up with the green and then had the little flecks of white, gave it a little bit of a softness, bringing in the red, the oranges, like the whole thing. So that's the front. That's the back. And I did a little double crochet here at the base as well. Oh, and then, so it also calls for making a polo on the cowl, you know, a polo around the neck. And I was like, yeah, but you know what? Maybe some days it's not going to be that hot. I'm not going to want this huge thick thing around my neck. So I made it just separate. So this one, I just did my own thing. I just did a series of herringbone and bobbles. And I just alternated the herringbone and the bobbles all the way through. My own little design, no biggie. Then, watch. So on those cold days, I got this, right? I am, and you can't even really tell, I mean, that it's not connected, right? It just kind of sits like this. I'm loving this. And so I actually finished this all last week. I did the squares. It didn't take that long. Honestly, it was a really fast pattern. Once I got the right yarn, then it didn't take that long. So this guy is coming with me to probably Ireland, Scotland, England, even though we're going in June, it's probably going to be warm. And then, you know, it is a little bit holey, so I just have a little camisole underneath of it. And then we're also going on a cruise in April, but we're going to spend a week in Nashville, Tennessee, where I used to live, showing the Brit around. So I'm probably going to bring this here too, because you just never know about the weather, but isn't it? Do you guys like it? Comment below and tell me what you think. I really love this. I love the blues. It's bright. It's me. Yeah? Ugh. I was very, very proud of this guy. Okay. Even the Brit, he's like, wow, he goes, your stuff is like really cool. And I'm like, thanks. Yeah, this didn't take long at all. And you know what? It's because of the cotton in this. It's actually really soft. This has definitely got more wool. I've got the tag somewhere, but it's got like, it was 50-50 wool and maybe acrylic, which made it a little bit softer, but it definitely has a little bit more of the scratch than this. Not that it's bad, but I don't know that I'd want to be, I mean, it feels okay. But when you compare the two, you can sort of see how this one's a little bit more definitely wool and this one has a little bit more of the cotton. But it's the right weight. They still have that kind of chunky feel to it. Anyways, so I could not be happier with this. And I love the color. Oh, this was, y'all, because it wasn't cheap. It was $7. I think I thought it was $4. It was actually $7.99 a skein, which is better than, it was originally like $12 a skein. So $7.99 was better than nothing. But so I was like, man, this better work. I'm telling you what, it better work. And I have a skein and a half-ish left. So I don't know what and I also have a skein of this left. So I'm probably going to have to do something with these guys. I just don't know what. Comment below if you've got an idea. Yeah, comment below. Tell me what I should do with these last two. I got like pretty much a full skein of this one, pretty much, and I got a little bit left inside here. So full skein, this little guy here, and I'm just gonna stick down in there, and then about half and a full. So like two. I don't know. Maybe I should do like another kerchief thing. Maybe I don't know. Comment below and tell me what you think I should do with the remainings. I gotta think they're gonna go together. I have to think they're gonna go together. I don't have other yarn that's like this thick, this different, this significant, or this specific rather. And you know, maybe, I don't know, maybe it's something I tie into this. Maybe it's something that's totally different. Maybe, you know, like another one of the kerchief scarves, like this guy. But maybe this is the main color, and then this is going to be in the bobbles or in another, I don't know. I'm looking for suggestions, people. All right. So I was very excited to show you this guy here. And this is something else I'm working on here in the background. Actually, I'll show you what I'm working on here in the background. So I finished this last year, and I did a whole video on how I did it. And it was basically all these granny squares, which you can see here. And I did them on the bias, right? So it was more of a little bit of a diagonal coming down this way. This was my own pattern. I found something that was very similar to this, and it was a Free People sweater, and I thought, I love it, I'm gonna do that. So what happened was, it was a super fine merino wool, and when I blocked it, which I read later, when you specifically block superwash merino wool, it can hang. It can just like drop and lose its shape, and it started doing that, and I'm like, oh, it's not, I wasn't liking it. And just as it worked out, one side from here to here was like 15 inches from here to here, down here at the base where I put the little ties. From here over here was like 16. So when you put it on, it like falls off one side. It drags off one side. And I was like, oh man, I really want to love this, but I'm not loving it so much. And then I just did a simple little peacock stitch here on the edge. So I was like, I gotta figure something out. So I thought, if I can add a border of some kind, maybe I'll like it. I've been seeing a lot of this on Pinterest, where it's this granny square with the big fur, you know, and it kind of gives it a little bit of a retro feel. And I was like, I kind of dig that. And I thought, oh, fur, do I have any of that stuff? Huh. Lo and behold, I had this in my stash. Now, I'm very, very, very sorry to tell you, because I was really bummed that it's discontinued. It was one of those novelty yarns that Lion Brand put out. You know, we love Lion Brand, but it's like whoosh. We know Schitt's Creek, that was a fad that came in and went out. And they do these every year. This was called Faux Feathers. All right, now what I liked about this is not eyelash, right? This is not eyelash. This is not a fur. It really has sort of an ostrich feather kind of a look to it. Anyways, and I was like, this to me looked a lot more authentic. I did not want eyelash. I wanted something that was going to be able to have some fuzz and fur and whatever. So yesterday I was experimenting, sitting around, watching some TV, messing around, and look what I came up with. Lo and behold, I made these cuffs, which I'm going to add to. Now this is a little big because I was just kind of eyeballing it. I'm going to add this to the ends like so. Come on, yeah, right? Is that going to be super cute? And I'm going to add it all around the edges this way. Oh, this is a good way to see it, actually. And then you can just sort of fluff it up. So I just did a double crochet. Yes! Oh, I hadn't seen it looking like that. But yes. I love that. Do you guys love that? Please say you love that. Or if you don't, just be nice. Don't say anything. But yes, I love this. And I'm going to have it go all the way down, all the way around the base. But what I'm going to be able to do is I can cinch this up and just hide it, probably like up in here, the back part, so that it's going to sit properly. And I think this collar, I'm going to be able to shorten it up a little bit and give it a little bit more of the this, so it'll be able to sit nicely around the neck. And then this is going to go, like I said, here around the, this is a very long one, so I'll probably use this around the back, like that. Huh? Huh? Right? Okay, this yarn has been so much fun to work with. I loved working with this yarn. I wasn't sure if I needed to give it some structure or not, so I started mixing it with I had a lot of this extra beige from this sweater, and so I added it, kind of double-stranded it. And then I'm realizing now I probably didn't need to do that, so I stopped doing that. I just did a very simple double crochet. You can kind of see the stitches here. And you know what? And these stitches could be very messy, but you can't tell. And then once you're done, you just kind of like fluff it up and pull some of those strands out to get it really nice and kind of, you know, fluffy. But it's been so much fun to work with. So much fun to work with. So this is what it looks like here. It's a weight of a 5, obviously, because of all those hairs and the strands that come down. Now, I was able to find this on like eBay and Etsy and stuff like that. So if you're just like jonesing for this, that's where I found it. I don't want to buy any more. I have enough for this project. Basically I went through 2 skeins and then I had this one left. I still have 2 skeins left. So I have more than enough to finish this project because I'm almost done. I mean, it's working up so fast. And I finally decided, like I said, I'm not gonna add the double strand. It doesn't need it. And you just sort of like crochet it on itself. So I'm doing a chain and then I'm just double crocheting back over it until it's about, I figured that was probably enough. I didn't want to overdo it. I figured that was about enough of a cuff. So this was like 3 or 4 rows of double crochet. Yeah. And then I'm just going to attach it on and use this yarn with my darning needle and just sew it on there, right? To keep it on really nice and tight. And I think I am now going to love this sweater. Now, some of you might be like, ooh, I don't like all that foo-foo-y stuff. And that's totally fine. But for me, I just felt like it needed something else. And I needed to be able to give it a little bit more structure. And so I think that this yarn actually fit the bill for both. It gives it more structure, gives it a little bit more, it makes it more sturdy. And it gives it that extra little zhuzh that I was looking for. This yarn was really kind of a pain because as I finished with it, especially in the granny squares, because you have so many loose ends, like all of a sudden you look and there's a hole and it's coming unraveled. I'm like, oh my God. I really wanted to like this thing. So I'm just going in with a darning needle and I have a lot of this yarn left and I'm just redoing it. But I'm very excited. I think I have found the answer to this yarn or to this sweater. And now I'm going to love it. And now I'm going to wear it. I'm very happy that I actually did buy this in 2 other colors. I had no idea what I was going to do with it, but I ordered it in this. This is called Cafe au Lait, and I also have it in like a red color and a lavender color. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I think I have like 5 skeins of each. I'm not sure. But being that I can't find it again anymore, I was happy at least that I had that. And I do have some really pretty lavender yarn. So I might just make like a lavender, maybe like a sweater of some kind. I mean, you could just make this. If you just want to make yourself just a plain old boa, you could totally do that. But I might just make it into a little bit of a lavender sweater with some like edges or something like that. I'm not really sure. But it's fun, y'all. It is so much fun. I'm looking over here. You guys are, what is she looking at? So, you know, I used to buy just funky, fun, crazy, what the heck am I thinking yarn. This being one of them. I don't know why. It's 27% wool, 62% nylon, 11% cotton. This is just some of my crazy stuff, but there's some, so the way it looks is, if you look at the strands, it's got the wool in there, it's got a little bit of the cotton coming through, and then it's got these crazy little things that are flying off. And not only did I get it in this color, I got it in this color, and I got it in this color. I don't know. Don't judge. Don't judge. I don't know, but I got a lot of it. I know it must have been on sale for me to get as much as I had because I probably have 10 of this. I'm going to flip this around and show you what I'm looking at. So this is what I currently have. This is my stash of this stuff. And this one. So I have quite a bit. I do have it with that alpaca. It is called Merino Yak Alpaca. So I have that from Lion Brand. I got that in those colors. I have this really fuzzy stuff here, made by the same company. Yeah, kind of goes with that. I don't know. This is before I really knew what I was doing with yarn, and I bought stuff because I thought it was pretty. And I just was like, I'll figure out something to do with it. So this is when yarn was my hobby and I didn't know what I was doing. But I think I can do something. Like, I'm kind of liking this Merino Alpaca and this, because it won't look so crazy with it. Maybe a sweater with this. I mean, the colors go, right? I think they totally do. So I could do like a double strand. This is a weight of a 4, and this is probably going to be like some kind of a crazy weight because it's so thick. It's so wacky. But the strands, they look kind of like this. So that, along with this, could make for kind of an interesting, funky sweater. Ooh, stay tuned, because this might actually be something. I don't know. What do you guys think? Stay tuned. Okay, so moving on from that, that's what I'm working on. This one should be done like next week. I should be able to show you this guy next week. And I still have 2 of the new yarns that I got when I went to Michael's a couple weeks back. Had the big, you know, sale and got all this stuff for 39 cents. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll include a link below. But that was crazy. That was fun. Y'all love that one. I still have 2 types yet that I haven't tried. One of which is this Loops and Thread Ombre Hues. And this is, again, this is a weight of a 3. Very, very pretty. Really pretty. 100% acrylic, or, well, it says it's a polyester blend. 75% polyester, 25% acrylic. Somebody said, and thank you so much because I didn't know the difference, that I think it was polyester is man-made and acrylic has some, it was something in the way that they're made, and that's how they differentiate between polyester and acrylic. So whoever said that, thank you. I wish I could remember exactly what you had said, but it made sense. So I have 2 skeins of this, and I believe I got another one coming. And I'm thinking I might just do like a super drapey scarf. Some people are doing sweaters with this. There's 426 yards per skein. It's still available at Michael's. I believe the sale is now gone and done, but they're offering like 20% off regular price. You know, there's always sales running. It was normally $7.99 a skein, $9.99 if you're in Canada. Canada, I didn't mean to say like Canada, right? It's a weight of a 3, like I said, and it's 426 yards. So 2 of these is quite a bit. I'm not sure, but I do have some more coming in from Michael's. There was some stuff that Michael's had that I wanted to try out. And I also got some more of the coconut cake because I just loved that. It was so easy. So I got to figure out something to do with these guys. Then the other big one is this cinnamon swirls cake, which I loved. I bought the 1 skein, which I believe it was this one that I showed you guys, which is called Jam Swirl. I don't know. I just loved the colors and stuff in here. Just loved it. Actually, I think I got 2 colors. I got these 2. I got Jam Swirl, and I also got Strawberry Swirl. I got these 2 on the video. And I was like, I know I'm going to love this stuff when I get to it. So I went back. They were out of the Jam Swirl. Can't find it anywhere. This was apparently a super popular color, y'all. You took off with this one. I was still able to find another Strawberry Swirl here. And I found this one, which was called a Berry Twist, which I was like, yeah, I like that because it's tying in the colors. It's got the blues, right? It's got the 2 blues going on. And it's got some colors in here. So I think it all kind of goes together. It might be kind of crazy vibrant. So I might do like these 2 in the middle and like these 2 on the edges. So it's going to kind of be like that. Like that. You know, not sure. But these are the ones that I got. And I have to figure out something to do with these guys. These are the Caron's Cinnamon Swirl Cakes by Yarnspiration. It's a weight of a 4. And it's 407 yards per cake. And I've got 4 of them. So that's 1,628 yards. Now, you know, you guys look at YouTube. That's how you found me. I look at YouTube. That's how I found different ideas and things. And I have found 2 people on YouTube that I have loved. One of which, her name is Alt Knots, A-L-T Knots. I'll include her link here. She is fun, y'all. She's from like Minneapolis, Minnesota, something like that. So it's cold. She's very goth, which I love. Black lipstick, black eyeshadow. So she's always like going into the yarn dungeon, I think it is. Maybe Yarn Cave, but I think it's called the Yarn Dungeon. So the colors that she chooses for the most part are going to be like the blacks and the whites and the grays. And then she throws in some lime greens and of course some reds. Very goth. But I am loving her. So if you're paying attention, I totally dig you. She's amazing with the knitting machine. She does a lot of stuff with the knitting machines. She's got like the Centro, and then she's got this mushroom knitting machine that I'm jonesing for. You might see it show up. And it's really the same thing as my Centro knitting machine. Actually, it's a little different. It has 48 needles as opposed to mine, which has like 32. So it's a little bit larger or smaller. Mine has 48. Anyways, there's a 48 and a 32 number in there. So one's bigger, one's smaller. I think the one I have is a 48 and that's a 32. But she does some crazy stuff. She does like shrugs and beautiful things. Way more talented on a knitting machine than I am. So if you want to learn like the ins and outs and the techniques of using a knitting machine, check her out, Alt Knots. The other one that I'm really digging is called Home and Hook, I believe is what it is. I'll include her link here below. She's amazing. She pretty much does everything on knitting machines. So when I pulled out my knitting machine to make my hat, because it had been, you know, it had been a while since I did, I kind of tuned into their channels just to do like a tutorial to refresh my mind about how to thread it to get it going. And they're both so helpful. So if you're looking to do stuff with like knitting machines or just some funkies, and she got this yarn, but she got it all in blacks and whites and grays. And she also did the coconut cake. She made a really cute purse, but she did it in the blacks and whites. So totally different, same product, but a totally different look. If you want, you know, just kind of have an idea of different ideas and inspirations, you got to check out her or the other one as well. Super fun channels, y'all. Super fun channels. Would love to maybe do some kind of a collab with them. So if they happen to be watching, like, hit me up. Let's do a collab. Let's do some fun stuff together. So that's all I got right now. I do have some stuff coming in this week. This week, we're going to be doing a tutorial. I'm going to do a tutorial on how to make these hand knit hearts. I was asked by a friend to go and teach some young girls how to do hand knit. And they wanted to make these hearts for Valentine's Day. And I was like, okay, so we're going to do it this week. Now, the Brit and I, we don't really celebrate Valentine's Day because it's kind of the Hallmark holiday. But we'll call it Galentine's. We'll call it, I mean, you know, we celebrate our love every day. I'll be like, anyways, but it is kind of fun. So I've got some really pretty chenille yarn, and we're going to do a tutorial this week on how to make these hand knit, only using the hands, no hooks, all that kind of stuff, and the supplies that I use. We're going to be doing that. I also have some stuff coming. From Lion's Brand. Y'all saw that I got an email back from Mr. Adam Blumenthal from Lion Brand. That was very exciting. I did order some yarn. I am going to do a combination or a comparison between the Schitt's Creek and the Basic Stitch. I think it's going to be a little bit thinner. I think it's close, but I don't know if it's going to be the cigar. We'll see. Anyways, so I have some of that coming in. I did place an order with Michael, so we're going to have that coming in. And y'all know that my new love, my new obsession is these guys. I'm loving my furl hooks. Love them. Love them in the container. They're so pretty. They just sit there, and they're just beautiful. I'm wondering where my one hook is. Actually, I do know where it is. It's downstairs. But people were like, have you tried the Omni? I've not, but I did order the Omni, and it's coming. And everyone was like, I really like the furls. Okay, all right. I was comparing the furls hook resin with the Ophire hook resin, because Ophire doesn't make anything other than this resin, at least right now. But Furls does make, they have some in wood, which I believe was their initial hook. I'm going to do some research on that one. And I also was able to get, and apparently these are in short supply, but I was able to get one of their Streamline, their metal hooks, which looks pretty fun. So I'm going to compare, I'm going to check those out. I'm going to do a little referral or a review this week on those other furl hooks. Not because I hate hating. I don't hate anything, but I like the Ophire hooks way more than I like the furl resin hooks. So we're going to check out the other furl products and see if they make a difference, if I like them. So that's what's coming up this week. More tutorials, more podcasts, more unboxings. Stay tuned. Comment, please, below. Let me know what you think about this yarn, what I should do with this guy. If you have any ideas for this guy, I do have an idea. I'm thinking of doing an asymmetric scarf, which is like kind of, it's almost like a really tall right angle, straight on one side, kind of at an angle on the other. I'm thinking that might be really kind of cool with this. Got fuzz in the nose, boy. And not sure what to do about these guys. I think I have some more of this coming though. I did refrain. I didn't get any more of this because I already had the 4 skeins, but I might have ordered a little bit more of this and some of the cotton cakes from Lion's Brand, and a new Premier yarn that you can only get online at Michael's. So stay tuned to all of that. That's what's coming up. Thanks so much for watching, y'all. Thanks for telling your friends about us. Keep telling your friends. Like and make sure you subscribe. Don't just comment, but if you like what we're doing here, subscribe so you get all those notifications of when stuff is coming out, because I'm still doing at least 2 a week, if not more. I'll be here, and I want you to be here as well. Thanks so much for watching. This is Kimberly with Knit for Brains, and as always, I'll see you soon.